League welcomes you to the Pepsi Zero Sugar Super Bowl 51.
And I welcome you to the latest episode of ClickBang, a special video edition of ClickBang this evening. I posted something that I thought that Lady Gaga's Super Bowl halftime performance was a masterpiece from a perspective of political persuasion, and I just wanted to make this to clarify why I really think that not only was this genius, not only did I like it from a musical perspective, but put that aside, that's not important. I'm not really going to be talking about music. I'm going to be talking about the persuasion that was so genius behind this performance. You will never see, I don't think, ever again, any performance that carries the persuasive weight of what she did during the Super Bowl. Now, the first thing I need you to do is, if you don't like Lady Gaga and you're not a fan of her music, just set that aside for now, because this isn't about her music. It is a little bit about her politics, and it's okay if you don't like them. I don't like all of her politics either. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about persuasion, so take those feelings and those preconceived notions and put them in a box. Similarly, and this will be much harder for the people that are huge Lady Gaga fans, try to put that to the side also. I know you love her. I know you love her music. We're going to be talking about something different. The people that don't need to do anything are the people that don't feel much about her either way. You guys are all set. Okay, so come with me here. What I need you to understand first is the concept of pacing and leading. Pacing and leading is it's a tactic used by hypnotists and persuaders in order to get people on their side before they walk you somewhere where you might not initially be willing to go. Here's a great example. Way back in, I guess it was the 70s. I don't know when Nixon actually did end up going to China, but when he was a candidate and, early in his presidential terms, Nixon was known, Richard Nixon, obviously I'm talking about, was known as the biggest communist hater in the world. Okay? Nobody hated communists more than Richard Nixon. Everyone knew this. So as far as his supporters went, they were paced. Okay? They knew this was their guy. He was the anti-communist guy, They're totally paced. Now, as far as the left was concerned, they knew it was important to have better normalized relations with China. Now, imagine for a second that if someone was a Democratic president and they said, I'm going to go to Nixon, I'm going to talk to Mao, the right would have been up in arms. No, they would have been terrified of that, and they would have been literally revolting. But not with Nixon, because Nixon had already paced them. He had paced them into being the most anti-communist guy. So as he led them over time, and it wasn't overnight, into saying, hey, we need to talk to China, and actually going over there and meeting with Mao, he didn't have to convince the left. They knew it was necessary, and they were right. They were correct. He already had the hardcore right-wing people that was his base. They were already paced that he was the biggest anti-communist. And then he led them so that when he went over there, they knew, all right, well, it's our guy, so it's okay. That is a classic example of pacing and leading. You can see Trump doing this, by the way, all the time. He always starts on any issue with the most extreme position that's going to cater to his hardcore base. For example, way back when he was a candidate, he said, Donald Trump, we're going to shut down all Muslim immigration, until we figure out what's going on. I forget the exact quote, but you guys remember it well. You remember. Now, what do we have today that we're still dealing with? I suppose we're going to get an answer tomorrow from the courts, but we have him, banning travel for everybody in, 7 different countries, right? A vast minority of the population of the world when it comes to Muslims. Now, if he had started there when he was a candidate, if he started, I think we should take these 7 countries and, we should put a temporary ban on those countries. Where would he have to go from there? By now, it would be nothing. I mean, he starts from an extreme position. He paces his base. Now, think about it this way. If you go back, if he had started from those 7, his base would have been like, well, that's not enough. That doesn't make any sense. Yet, here we are today and his base is fine with it. Who are the people that are saying, wait, what about Saudi Arabia and Afghanistan and Nigeria? Who's saying that? It's the left that's saying that now. What about these countries? Believe me, they're going to get added soon enough. So those are some examples of pacing and leading. Let's see how Lady Gaga paced and led the world. So, okay, so first of all, before we start, where were you? Where was everybody, particularly people on the right, with regard to Lady Gaga? She had been, I don't know if she was an official surrogate for Hillary, but she was out there. She was on the trail. She was stumping for her for sure, and she was vocal about her politics. So everyone was kind of fixing at this point, like, what's she going to do? Everyone remembers that, when Beyonce did it last year, it was a disaster. There were fights over the whole thing. There were actually people, saying, we need to chant, trying to get some movement, trying to chant Trump, Trump, Trump during Lady Gaga's performance. Everyone was in a place where they were just so ready for Lady Gaga to make some outrageous political statement during her show, right? So what did she lead with? Here is the pacing. Well, you guys all know what it is. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. But one of the most patriotic openings that you could possibly do in a performance. I mean, you guys know where it goes from here. It's a beautiful rendition, I must say, of God Bless America. She's got great pipes. I mean, it's beautiful. So she goes from that. Now, I know what a lot of people are going to say. They're going to say, she goes into Your Land Is My Land. And then, right-wing crazy people will say, oh, that song was made by a communist. And yeah, it was. But you know what? That doesn't matter. Everyone remembers singing that song in elementary school when they were a kid. And it fits into her message in a way that can't be seen as political, because it's a song that literally everyone has sung out loud. Everyone has sung that song out loud in their life. Full stop. And then you have these things, I guess they're drones. People are saying they're drones, coming into this formation of a beautiful American flag.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Boom. She just paced everybody. She just paced the whole country. Everyone who was in a place where it's like, oh, she's going to make some crazy... What can you disagree with that? You're fucking paced. Let's start the leading. So from there, she goes into... There's nothing overtly political with what's going on here. This is just, I think, I mean, listen, I have a lot of respect for Lady Gaga, but I couldn't say I'm a huge fan. But I think this is her most popular song ever. What is this, Poker Face? I'm pretty sure it's her most, I still, you hear it in Duane Reade. This is her most, I'm pretty, ooh, tits. I think this is her most popular song ever. So it makes a lot of sense. And it doesn't really, it doesn't have a political message that I can detect. So it makes a lot of sense that once you've paced everybody, then you're going into the song, which has got the most chance of, people liking, because it's her most popular song, I assume. So that's just smart. Obviously, they're in Texas. A good idea. So the next thing I want to show you, this is just, that was it, actually. Sorry about that. So this has nothing to do with Persuasion, but just listen to what she does. Hold on. Stay with me. Okay, it's not political, and I don't even know if it's a part of the lyrics of the song or not. I have no idea. It's not important. Stay with me is a command, and you will see these commands throughout the performance. So you're paced with the beautiful patriotic opening. It's a song that, if you're going to like any of her songs, it's going to be this one. So you're feeling it so far. Even if you were like getting ready to be real angry about this performance, she's bringing you along. Stay with me is a command. This is something that persuaders and hypnotists do. They don't ask you, can you come over here? They say, no, come here. They give commands. Now you were with her, and now she says, "Stay with me," and you do. It's a simple tactic of persuasion, but I thought it was important enough to point it out because she does it later too. So there's nothing that much more going on with this other than just her trying to entertain the crowd, which I found it very entertaining. Also, just as a side note, look at that. She's obviously singing. This is not lip syncing in this performance. There is no way that was lip syncing. I watched this several times, obviously, to prepare for this thing I'm doing here. Flipping upside down and singing evenly. That I can't imagine that's easy. Just a small musical note here. So we can move this forward just a little bit. So obviously, Born This Way, and this was just fantastic. So Born This Way is an LGBT anthem, but it's her anthem. This isn't a new song she wrote for this. This is, doesn't everybody expect a performer during the Super Bowl to play their big hits? This is one of her big hits. So yeah, it's got a whole LGBT message, but she's just triple paced you, really. So now you're totally, even if you're, not into that, into the political statement being made in the song, it's okay. It's her anthem. Happens to be an LGBT anthem, but it's her anthem. Can't fault her for singing her big songs. So you let it go, even if you're against her. And in this regard, I'm certainly not. Now, visually speaking, what are we looking at here? We're looking at a very diverse group of dancers here. They could be of all, they're of all shapes and sizes and races. I assume religions and preferences, all moving together in synchronicity for the most part. Even got a fat chick in there somewhere. I forget where she is. So she does it, through her lyrics, of course, but she's also doing now the leading visually. Okay. And it just sounds great too. I'm sorry. This is a good song. Okay, so here, and I'm sure the Lady Gaga fans fucking hate this, what I'm doing here, because I'm just breaking up this beautiful performance. But you could just go back and watch it and we'll start to finish when you're done with this. So here comes like an actual political message, but at this point, you've been like quadruple paced at this point, and now comes the message, and you're just okay with it. Fine. You're fucking entertained. It's highly likely that you're fucking entertained. So what's the problem with the message? No problem. Sure. It's her deal.
Evergreen, your black, white, racial descent, your Lebanese, your Orient. No like disability, that king of cast for liberties. Rejoice and love yourself today. No matter gay, straight or bi, lesbian, transgender life, I'm on the right track. Baby, I was born to survive. No matter black, white, or beige, or Orient made. Right track, baby.
Oh, look. There's a... Is that the front? Doesn't matter. So the next song doesn't have much in the way of Persuasion. So I'm actually going to skip ahead just to one little thing. Where is it? Yeah. Just Dance. If there is any chance, obviously another command, Just Dance, right? If there was anyone, like if you were watching the Super Bowl with a group of people, I guarantee you, if this was on and the sound was on and everything, there are people dancing. If at this point in the performance, you were not dancing, you are now. And that's, as far as music and Persuasion goes, if you're moving, it's working. Okay, so I'm gonna move forward ahead a little bit. No, too far. No, a little too far. So I actually don't know this song. I wasn't aware of it before. I assume it's called A Million Reasons or something like that. I thought it was a beautiful ballad. But just to activate your feelings, your nostalgia, like just to really hit your emotions, listen to this.
Hi, Mom.
I mean, hi, Dad, hi, Mom. Who doesn't that resonate with? I mean, come on. And even how her voice just quivers. I should play that back. It quivers almost like a child returning from, a long trip or summer camp. I mean, listen, she just fucking nails it.
Maybe I just need one good one to stay. Hey, Dad. Hi, Mom.
Listen to that. I mean, come on. It's getting me right now. It's getting me. So upcoming is a part where when I saw it, I thought that she actually was going a little bit too far. But apparently I'm wrong, because I've read 100 articles at least on this, and less than 5% even mention this. So it was better disguised than I thought. Maybe I was just being, too overly analytical of this. But as you'll see coming up, it comes up a little bit when she comes off the stage. So okay, so you're getting, the camera's coming in real tight with her.
But baby, I just need one good one. Tell me that you'll be the good one. Why don't you stay?
Why don't you stay? I thought it was a little over the top. It turns out it was perfect. She's asking, why don't you stay? And it's almost, when she's hugging that girl and she's like, is emoting that maybe she can't stay. That's actually kind of what the question is. Why can't you stay? And this is obviously, to me, I think it's obvious. I don't know if that lyric is in the song or not. Someone who's a Gaga fan, I'm sure will tell me. It's obviously about immigration. Now, this is one thing that I disagree. I probably disagree with Lady Gaga on her stance on immigration. But when you see genius, which I didn't think it was genius when I saw it, I thought it was a little bit too much. But it seems like most people didn't consciously notice it. Seems like it was perfect from a Persuasion perspective. Why don't you stay? Well, what could the reason be? She was never going to come out and say, Donald Trump, what are you doing with that immigration? No, she just asked the question, why don't you stay? What's the answer? The answer is Donald Trump. And just let me see if I could come back just a little bit. Just take a look at the girl.
Stay.
This girl could be anybody. She could be black. She could be Asian. She could be Muslim. She could be Native American. And believe me, as you all saw with the choreography of all these lights that people are holding up, which to me looks a lot like the Statue of Liberty. These people are not just random people from the crowd. These are all people who are trained and practiced in this. I mean, you don't get people to have perfect synchronicity with these lights going back, in their hands. No. This girl that she's hugging and becoming emotional about having to leave is there for a reason. It's because she could be anybody. Now, here's the part where I'm almost certainly reading too much into this. Maybe. I don't know. I hope I'm at least getting across to you a little bit. If you were on the fence before, do not underestimate Lady Gaga. She is a genius. If you don't think that I'm not trying to convince you from a music perspective, from a persuasion perspective, she's a genius. She is a master persuader. She's a wizard. So from this, now, as far as I know, the next song is Bad Romance. As far as I know, the lyrics to this song in the beginning are caught in a bad romance. But I want you to listen to them. Now, I think those are what the lyrics are, but listen. I mean, when I heard it, and maybe it's just because it's me, I heard Find a Better Man. I'll play it for you again. Listen, I'm not saying that they are saying Find a Better Man. They very well may be singing Caught in a Bad Romance. I'll play it for you one more time. At this point, that's probably all you can hear.
The Super Bowl is what champions are made of.
And obviously, Find a Better Man. I don't need to explain that to you. Listen, I don't know if that's there or not, but would it surprise me? No. Just a phenomenal masterpiece of persuasion. She came out to the biggest stage in the world, and by the way, her halftime performance got better ratings than the game itself. That at any time, at no point during the game were more people watching the Super Bowl than were people watching her performance. Truth. She came out, demolished everyone's expectations, both on the left and the right. I'll talk a little bit about the left's reaction to this, but everyone on the right was expecting this huge political statement, and they think that they didn't see one. They did. But that's okay. Persuasion is often more effective when it's under the surface, when it's a little bit subconscious. Now, I'm just going to go to the end right here, just because, like, she's taking a chance here right at the end. Watch. I mean, she didn't have to do this.
Want your bad romance. Super Bowl 51.
Listen, that was impressive. A lot could have gone wrong with that. I mean, that wasn't CGI or anything. No, there was somebody who chucked her a ball and she caught it midair. A lot could have gone wrong with that. And you know what? If something did go wrong with that, that's all you would have seen. Pretty impressive. She did not have to do that. And it looked fucking cool.
Want your bad romance. Super Bowl 51.
Not bad. Listen, I'll say that if you do that 20 times, you're going to miss once. I don't care how many times you practice. Plexical burst misses that, 1 out of 100. So it's risky. Now, poor Pepsi. They paid for the drones or whatever those things are. I don't know if they got a better shot during the actual broadcast, but poor Pepsi. They barely got it, and then it fades out. They should have had, they did the beautiful thing with the red, white, and blue for the American flag in the beginning. Pepsi got shafted, man. They could have had, Pepsi uses red, white, and blue anyway. They got shafted. I don't know if that looked different during the actual performance, but okay. So now we're at the point where either I convinced you that Lady Gaga is a persuasion master, or I didn't. Now, for anyone left over who's not sold, I'm just going to show you one thing, and then you will be. Boom. Now, this performance in the most American event, in period, and then she got the ratings off the chart. Her sales are through the roof. She picked up a lot of new fans, including a lot of new fans on the right. Right? They're going to buy her stuff. They're going to see her in the future. And now, from this performance that was so visceral, so engaging, and so entertaining, that's why they went out and bought her stuff, they're going to see a different Lady Gaga in the future, one that is going to be much more overtly political. Now, she will lose some of those people, but not all of them. And this Persuasion masterpiece is, I mean, I don't know if we'll ever see something like this again, but she's going to be able to persuade some of those people in the future with more overtly tangible political messaging, and she's going to get people on her side. My 2 cents. Hey, I made another video today about Hillary. You might like that too. So, find it. See you soon.